Shavuot is coming up this year on Sunday night, this Sunday night, and it is going to last until this Tuesday night. I am so excited. Shavuot is such a fun holiday. What is Shavuot? You are probably wondering. Shavuot, as I just mentioned, is a 2-day holiday, and this is the anniversary of the day when God gave the Torah to the Jewish people on Mount Sinai over 3,000 years ago. The Jewish people have literally been counting down the days since the second day of Passover until we get to Shavuot next week. We are so excited. It's a big day, and in this video, we're going to talk all about it. Hi, my name is Hannah. I am an Orthodox Jew, and this is my channel, Jar of Fireflies. Here, I make videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 3. I do a lot of vlogs, things like that, day in the life, Q&As. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, hit that subscribe button right now so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And while you're doing that, let's dive into Shavuot. Okay, Shavuot, also called Shavos, means weeks because we have literally been counting down the days for 7 weeks until we have arrived here at this holiday, or will arrive on Sunday night. We call this period of counting the counting of the Omer, and we count this time from Passover to Shavuot every single year. All right, as I just mentioned, the Torah was given to the Jewish people at Mount Sinai over 3,000 years ago. I think a little over 3,300 years ago. So every year on Shavuot, we are renewing our acceptance of Hashem's Torah on this day. And Hashem kind of re-gives it to us every year on this day. Our sages have compared the giving of the Torah to a wedding between the Jewish people and God. It's a bond forever. Shavuot also means oaths because on this day, God pledged his everlasting devotion to us and we pledged our everlasting loyalty to him. Okay, so that's a little bit of history there about the holiday. Let's talk about what we do to celebrate. So to start out, the very first thing that we do is we light candles. As the woman of the house, this is my job. So I will light my candles the same way that I do on Shabbat. I will light those candles on Shavuot, on the first night, and then again on the second night. Another way that we celebrate this holiday is we stay up all night learning Torah. Okay, so I'm not staying up all night learning Torah. I have kids. That's not good. No, I'm going to bed. My husband will stay up all night learning Torah, and they will have all night learning for men and women at our synagogue. And some people will stay up all night learning at their homes. It's kind of whatever you want to do. There's options, obviously, both places. I will stay up and I will read Tehillim. I will read the book of Psalms for as late as I can until I fall asleep, and then I will simply fall asleep. If I wanted to stay up all night, I could obviously do so, but I prefer to go to sleep so that I can be a good mom to my children, a good wife to my husband, and a wonderful host to our guests the next day. Speaking of the next day, we will go to services and we will hear the reading of the 10 Commandments, which will be done that day during services from the Torah. Shavuot is also a Yom Tov, so when we go to services, we will be walking, we will not be driving, we will not be on our phones, we will not be turning on the oven or turning on and off lights and all of those sorts of things. It's kind of like Shabbat in that aspect, however, there are some differences. The differences mainly have to do with cooking, but we don't really need to dive into all of that right now. Also, like Shabbat, there are very special meals that are eaten, and these meals in some ways are even more special than Shabbat. We might choose to have an extra special dessert or an even more fine cut of meat or something like that. Now, these special meals often are dairy meals. It's very common to have this not be a meat meal, but a dairy meal. Now, in my family's tradition, we still make these meals meat meals. Now, it is very traditional to eat dairy on Shavuot. One of those things. A lot of cheesecake. Cheesecake is kind of like the #1 traditional food for Shavuot. So I make cheesecake and we eat it for breakfast. When my husband comes back from shul from learning all night, he'll eat some cheesecake, he'll take a nap, he'll wake up, he'll make meat, and we'll eat a meat meal. That's what we do. There are many reasons why we traditionally eat dairy on this day. Lots of reasons. One of those reasons is that the Torah is likened to nourishing milk. In the Song of Songs, it talks about the Torah is like honey. It says, it drips from your lips like honey and milk from under your tongue. That's in the Song of Songs, chapter 4, verse 11, and that is referring to the nourishing value of Torah. Now, all words in Hebrew have a numerical value. This is something that really fascinates me. I don't know a ton about it, but one day I will. I just think it's really, really neat. And the numerical value of the word chalav, which is the word for milk in Hebrew, is 40. And so this alludes to the 40 days that Moses spent on top of Mount Sinai, where he received the 10 commandments from God. Another one of the reasons that we traditionally will eat dairy on this day is because the Torah was given to us on Shabbat. And of course, we immediately started to observe the Torah. And because it was Shabbat, we could not slaughter animals, so we had to eat dairy meals. Okay, it is also very customary to decorate your house with flowers on this day. All right, so if you've been watching my videos, you know that my husband usually gets me flowers for Shabbat, so I'm kind of expecting a bigger or more fancy flower arrangement for Shavuot because of the whole thing with the flowers. We'll see if that happens. In addition to decorating our homes for Shavuot, we will also decorate the synagogue for Shavuot with flowers. So people will bring bouquets of flowers to decorate our synagogue as well. So that's kind of fun. One more thing that we do to celebrate this day is study the book of Ruth. It's a super common thing to study for Shavuot, and I will likely spend some time studying this as well for myself. This is done because King David passed away on Shavuot, and he is a descendant of Ruth. Okay, so at services, it's also traditional to read the book of Ruth. Now, Ruth was a non-Jewish woman who loved God and the Torah so much that it led her to convert to Judaism, which is kind of a big deal. I should know, because I too converted to Judaism. Now, Ruth has a really cool connection to Shavuot because King David was one of her descendants, and he was both born and died on Shavuot. Now, you may have never heard of Shavuot if you are not Jewish. It is a little bit more of, I guess, sort of an obscure holiday if you're not Jewish because there is no major symbol for the holiday. When you look at the Jewish holidays, if you look at Jewish symbols, you can generally say like, oh, the matzah, that is for Passover, or the sukkah, that's for Sukkot, or the menorah, the Hanukkah, is for Hanukkah. What's our symbol for Shavuot? Well, there's not really one. So that would be the reason for that. Now, there are no symbols today because we don't need anything to distract us from what the focus is, which is the Torah, learning Torah and accepting the Torah and that relationship with Hashem because of that. So that would be the reason for that. I will say though that it is just a tad ironic that this very little known holiday is probably the most significant day in Jewish history. I mean, let's just dive back into this history again a little bit. I mean, this was 3 millennia ago. The Jewish people who had been enslaved in Egypt for hundreds of years had left Egypt and they were in the desert. They were there in the Sinai desert, 3 million men, women, and children, where they experienced divine revelation. What? This is so cool. I'm going to read this directly now. So it says in Deuteronomy, it says, God spoke to you from the midst of the fire. You were hearing the sound of words, but you were not seeing a form, only a sound. He told you of his covenant, instructing you to keep the 10 commandments. He inscribed them on 2 stone tablets. Okay, this whole giving of the Torah thing, this was like amazingly awesome, like truly awesome in the true sense of the word. Now, the Torah also implies that the souls of those who would convert to Judaism were also there at Mount Sinai. The souls of all Jews were there at Mount Sinai. Kind of awesome. There's another verse in Deuteronomy that says, I am making the covenant both with those here today before the Lord our God and also with those not here today. Those are those souls who have not yet converted. So that's super awesome. So there's actually, this is a fun fact, there's a dating website for Jews called Saw You at Sinai, and it's because we were all there. So yeah, that's kind of fun. Now, the people who've been studying all night long at the synagogue, at the shul, they then will start saying the morning prayers at the earliest possible time. Now, this isn't because they're eager to get home or because they're tired or because they've been up all night and they're kind of done with it. No, this is not the reason. No, they are davening at the earliest possible time because they are expressing their enthusiasm of their relationship with God, of the receiving of the Torah and celebrating this holiday. Okay, so that's a nice little overview of Shavuot and what we are celebrating, why we are celebrating, and how we are celebrating. I myself am very much looking forward to having friends over, enjoying some wonderful meals, enjoying some tasty cheesecake for breakfast, doing some learning from the book of Ruth and reading Tehillim until I fall asleep at night. I love this day. I do look forward to it all year long. And I'm just super stoked that this is coming up in just a few days. Speaking of, now, because this is a day where I can't watch TV, use my phone, things like that, I will not be able to post a video on Monday because that will be smack in the middle of Shavuot. There's no chance that I'm gonna be able to post a video then. So there will be no video. I will be back again next Thursday. So be sure that you're subscribed so you can tune in then. Okay. One more thing that I want to say to you guys is I would love to do another Q&A video coming up. So please let me know in the comment section below any questions that you guys have. I've got a few ideas for Q&A. I'd love to do a Q&A on hair covering and then just some more general Q&As as well. So I'll start a comment down there in the comment section and please put your questions under there for me that I can include in those videos. All right, you guys, I've got to go dig through my cheesecake recipes and start shopping for cream cheese and all that jazz so that I can get myself ready for Shavuot. I am so excited. So I'm going to go ahead and close this video here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. It helps me know what kind of videos that you guys want to see, and it helps my channel out a lot, and I super appreciate it. All right. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next upload. Doing some learning.